I'm going to go over a few tickers within SPY. First up is Nvda. We ended the day at 121.67. This is where we are, basically at resistance. Another level of resistance and another potential take profit area takes us to 124.97. Above that, at 3 standard deviations, takes us to 126.50. And should we be so lucky as to get to this level on Monday, but don't hold your breath, 128.12. To the south side, -2 standard deviations and another level of support takes us to 118.91. Below that, 117.40, and at -4 standard deviations, roughly 115.85. If we wick down to this level, I will definitely anticipate a bounce as people buy the dip. VWAP is in blue at 120.49. Looking left, we've got some gaps to take a look at. This one opened up on Friday, March 14th. We gapped up, so eventually we will fill it to the south side. And that is now at roughly 116.09. Another gap area. This will take us down to 110.12. And note the bounce here. When we're up here, and we get back to this middle of the trend, that takes us to support and a bounce off of that going sideways, and then a bounce off of here and a bounce off of this line at -2 standard deviations or running up. And when we're down here, we bust through this line. This is also resistance on the way up and a potential take profit area. We broke through, fell back down to support on the way down from resistance. And now we're slowly just kind of going sideways. Let me mark one thing I forgot to do. And the middle of the trend is now 122.05. This will be resistance, or if we go sideways, it will bounce off of this line from down here, or if we go above it and we roll over, that will be support. So the last time I looked at this was for a trader named Sarv. So what happened? So we were at resistance up here, fell down, well, on the way down, that's support, bounced off back up to resistance, and then made our way back down, bounced off of that, kind of going sideways, falling down another leg for another bounce up through resistance. This, when I tracked it, was the middle of the trend. This acted as resistance, could not make it through, fell back down to support, again touched resistance, fell back down to support, busting through that and even this line. And now we're just hovering on this line, which was once the middle of the trend, as well as this line. And now, where did I say we were? Right here. And what else has happened? Let me flip this over. Oh, so I have been tracking apparently this gap. And that takes us to 117.10. And that touched, what did it touch right there? It appears like it did, but when you stretch it out, sometimes upon closer examination, no, there's still a gap filled there, and we literally touched right here on March 13th. So congrats if you played the long game up to that. We wicked even higher, and again, that line was once the middle of the trend that I marked out. So this is no longer in play to the upside. And I know Sarv had mentioned he would like to see more Nvda videos from me. Now let's go to the daily. And what is happening here? On the daily, so we're at 121.67, and we are from down here. This is one level of support. We went up to resistance, and now we're going to either grind along this line and slowly make our way up, but the middle of the trend on the daily is 149.58. So that's nice to see. And then above that, we're not even close to this level, 177.26. But the range, oops, Command Z if you want to redo something that you accidentally messed up. So this was once a middle of the trend line for me, 127.09. Here, I mean, many levels to get to before we get to the middle of the trend. And then to the south side, so we're here, and negative 3 standard deviations takes us to 107.61, which will close out this gap. And then we have other gaps to the south side, but we are not there on the daily. As you can see, we are in an upward channel on the daily. Let me just extend this while I'm here so I don't have to do that later. I don't know if we'll get back down to 63, but if we do, I'll definitely be tracking it. So we'll hit Option R to reset. So all these gaps to the south side, but right now we are still in an upward channel on the daily, and the RSI is turning up. That's the daily. The weekly, let me just get rid of this, it's turning up as well. And on the monthly, where I like to troll, look at how we just fell, obviously, from the monthly. I don't care what the news cycle is. If you're up here, expect a pullback. And down here, expect people to buy in because it's cheaper than where we've been previously, which is 121.67. All right, that's it. And that's on the monthly. All right, let's take it back to the 5. Now, the next one I want to go over is ABT, Abbott Laboratories. I have not looked at this one in a very long time. So we're at 126.71. I have not made a video for a while because I had visitors come from Palm Desert for several days, and now I am also dog sitting. Then I had to go to one of my rentals and do some yard work, which I love doing, and checking up on the property. All right, so 126.71. All right, here are your targets for Monday. To the north side, let me move this over. 128.01, resistance, another level of resistance, 128.91 and 129.92. And if we get to that level, this will wipe out this gap. Now to the south side, that is 125.99 at the middle of the trend. If we bounce, if we go down, we could bounce off of that or continue to grind down along with the trend line there, or the indicator. 124.08, 123.10, and 122.09. Obviously, by the end of the week, this is Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, geez. I gotta really extend it. Okay, so by Friday, right here, Friday, if we continue to tank, that could take us to the middle of the trend at 115.82. But obviously, we just don't go down like an escalator because you're going to get whipped around all over the place. Now, what happened looking left? Clear area of resistance, falling down, support, a bounce off of that, stair-stepping our way down, making lower lows. We are not making higher highs yet. Now, as I mentioned, I have not looked at this in a very long time, so I have no idea where the gaps are, which I need to clean up. But let's just take a look at what I have done in the past. So on September 18th, of 2024, we were at 114.88. And what is this? In 23, we were at 107, 116. I tracked it here, gave you price targets. I should go through and clean that up. I used to, a long time ago, give you the price label for the middle of the trend, you know, the different standard deviations, but I've stopped doing that. And looking at this on the daily, a bounce off of support, clear sell-off at resistance, bounce off of support, resistance. Oh, look at clear sell-off. The 1-year price target is now 138.29. So I will mark that out. 130, here, I'll just do this. $138.29. This is Saturday. Oops. Saturday, March 15th, 25. The 1-year price target is 138.29 according to the analysts on TradingView, which represents a, gosh darn it, percentage, 9.14% from where we are. So we're here, could probably grind up and then make our way to this level, but that's not going to happen in one day. Good luck to you there if you think that's going to be the case. Ain't happening. Now let's take a look at the RSI. What does the RSI tell us? Geez. Okay, clear sell-off. And where was price at the sell-off? Right here, roughly 113. Here, option R, reset, is just faster, falling down from being overbought. So clearly, you can look at the chart and you can know that you can expect a sell-off. And the whole sector of pharmaceuticals has taken a massive hit. And will it stay down? No. Robert Kennedy Jr. is not helping the market, but I totally agree with what he's doing. And we've got to get America healthy again. And it's tanking the market. And then they're trying to, I guess, there's some sort of event going on right now where there's a committee trying to, I don't know, approve somebody for some CDC position, I think it is. But anyway, I follow it very little. I mean, I don't even care what the news is. I look at this and I know it's going to crack. I don't care what the news says. But, oh, earnings here. Oh, that's coming up April 16th. And look at this. You cannot bet against the pharmaceutical company, pharmaceuticals in general. Yeah, should they clean house? Absolutely. But I don't know. I feel like they always win. There, I'm done with my diatribe. Oops, for the month, still going down. On the week, also falling apart. So there's still more bleeding to go through. On the daily, still going down. And how far have we gone in the past? Ooh, to here. Will we reach that, to here? That point again? Maybe, maybe not. Or we could just reverse getting close to there. Okay, so I believe this might be the lowest point right here. I like to mark that out just to see where I could be headed. You never know. Option R, reset. Okay, that's it. Now that I'm looking at tickers within SPY, let's look at SPY itself. All right, SPY on the daily is turning up, so that's good. For the week, still bleeding out. And on the monthly, overbought and then cracking to the south side, as expected. Obviously, there was bad news too, with the economy and what Trump is doing to stop fraud, abuse, waste. I mean, it's disgusting how bloated the federal government. It's like my HOA. wasting money on stupid stuff. All right, this is the monthly view. And I am entitled to my opinion, as is everyone else. $631.65 to the north side. That's the weekly, still cracking. Okay, let's take it down to the 5 minutes. So this is going to be your price target, your targets for Monday. So here we are, 562.81, 565.51, 568.90, 572.26. Don't hold your breath, but if we hit this level with a wick, a candle wick, you know what's going to happen. People will take their profits and they will run, they will lock in, and they will leave. Now to the south side, the middle of the trend, the baseline is now 558.80. That could be support and a bounce off of that, or we could slowly bounce off of here and then grind slowly upward. To the south side, 552.09, 548.87, and don't hold your breath for this level on Monday, on a different day possibly, 545.43. Taking a look at this gap, that is an opportunity to go short to the south side, takes us to roughly 551.59. Oops, Command Z. So we are nearing resistance, so I'm going to anticipate a sell-off and then possibly another bounce, but right now this is turning down as well, and we have this nice opportunity to the north side, so a bunch of forces pulling and tugging. 575.79. There we go. Clear support and a bounce here. Clear resistance up here and then falling down. Oops, gosh darn it. I moved too fast and gosh darn it. You have to grab it at a certain spot or things will get wonky as well. So we have some gaps I need to clean up that I talked about previously. This one took us to 582.29. We went up, so I anticipate a pullback. So congrats if you went short and anticipated that move. Oh, didn't touch there. I don't know when it's going to touch, but typically it does. Doesn't mean every time, but it did. That one touched on March 3rd. That opened up, this whole gap right here opened up on January. So congrats there. This is no longer in play. To the south side is no longer a landmine to our account, making it crater. But if you anticipated that, congrats and went short. Okay, this one I did not clean up. Remember, I just extend and then I got to go back and look at it. And I overextended, and that touched right here on January 8th. And that one opened up on the 3rd. So congrats. That took us down to 584.82. What else? So that's done. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. So that's a gap here. Another gap within a gap. Sometimes these gaps get so confusing because one opens up and one shuts, and then I've got all these lines, which obviously you can remove. And that touched right there on January 13th, taking us down to roughly 576. And when did that start? Wednesday, November 6th. So congrats if you played the long game going short. That's done. Okay, now this is getting ugly. So what I'm going to do is flip this to the 15. You can see this just a little bit better. Oh, I have more gaps to clean up here. Look at this. I anticipated this move for SPY, taking us down to 562.19, and we went down on Friday to 562.81, and obviously we bled out even more. Okay, that's the 15, so let's extend this. I really should be doing this on the 5, so everything lines up perfectly, but that's okay. There, that touched on March 10th. I have not cleaned up this for a long time. So that started at 569.87, took us down to 562. Delete, delete, no longer a threat to our account. Now what's happening here? So then we have this anticipated move to 559.02, and it did. I have to make this bigger so I can grab this easier. This touched on March 10th, Monday, March 10th out of the gate. That took us down to 559.02, and that opened up on roughly Friday, September 13th. Wow, congratulations. That is no longer in play, so that is done. These are all perfectly lined up. And then, ooh, okay, now let's just go to the daily so I can see this on in the big picture. All right, we've got this one taking us to 519, not in the channel, not in the zone. Okay, let's just extend this. This one will take us to 505 at some point, and a gazillion other gaps. We are not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. I shouldn't even show it to you so you don't get all worked up, upset about it, because that is a long ways off. So that's on the daily. I'm showing you this. Again, the RSI is turning up, and we are still in an upward channel, moving farther away from that. But at some point, that will haunt us. All right, so that's SPY on the daily, and then I already did the 5 minutes. So yeah, I guess that's it. All right, if there is a ticker that you would like me to go over, please let me know. I will also be working on my gap and go trades for this upcoming week, so check that out later on. Hopefully I'll have time soon to make that. All right, have a great rest of the weekend and a great trading day.